Hey everybody, happy fall, y'all. Yeah, it's the first day of fall, and you know what that means in Oklahoma. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. It is horribly hot still. Okay, not horribly. It was pretty nice today, but it's much too hot for this sweater. I just had to be cute because I've seen all the memes today that say basically the same thing that fall means nothing. It means absolutely nothing in Oklahoma. So, but it was a really nice day. Hope we don't go back into the 90s. I can do without that. So the first day of fall may not mean anything as far as the temperature goes, especially here in the South. I know Oklahoma is debatable South. I don't know why, but anyway, it may not mean anything when it comes to the temperature, but it is the biggest time for people to buy books. People are buying books because they're buying gifts for the upcoming holiday seasons, and they're buying books because people like to snuggle in when it gets cold, and eventually it will. We hope. Like to snuggle in when it gets cold and read a good book. So fall is one of the highest um, times that people actually buy books. And so we are going to talk a little bit about that today, which it brings me to my first question, which is from Carissa in Oklahoma. And she asks, how do you get a book ready for publication? Okay, well, there's a very long explanation to this, but I'm going to do this short because I try to keep this only to a half an hour because I know A, I'm already on late, and B, nobody has time to sit and listen to me ramble on for more than half an hour. We all have lives, and I understand that. So this is how I get my book ready for publication. Number one, and probably the most important, if we're getting right down to it, is you have to write the book. And I know what you're thinking. Well, duh. But I just know a lot of writers, they want so much to write a book, but then they never sit down and write. And we were talking about this at my local writing group earlier, where somebody was like, oh, well, yeah, I was listening to this crazy lady on Facebook. I'm the crazy lady who told me I had to get my butt in the chair and write the book. You have to write the book. You're not going to be able to sell anything you don't write. Okay, so step one, write the book. Sit down, write it, keep sitting down until the whole thing is done. That's step one. Okay? Once you get your rough draft, and your rough draft can be total crap. It can be awful. Mine are. Mine are totally bad. I mean, I write pretty fast. I'm not worried about editing. So yeah, they're pretty bad when I put them out, when I finish the rough draft. And that's why we need to go through all these editing stages. And I have what I call my process of quality. And so this is what I personally do. You have to figure out what works for you, but I do recommend not skipping any of these steps. You might want to add more, but I would not take less. So after you get the rough draft, you want to do content edits. And so the best way to do that is to find a critique group. I'm very lucky. I have a really great critique group. We meet every week, keeps my butt in the chair, and they give me solid advice that I just don't know that I could live without if something would ever happen to them. After I do my content edits, after I get their input and apply that, then I do what's called a read out loud. I read through it. I mark things. Sometimes I print it out. Sometimes I read it on the computer. I'm trying very hard to be less paper dependent. And so, but I read it out loud because I'm using a different part of my brain. And hopefully I can find some of those typos, those missed words, where the dialogue is choppy, where the flow is choppy by reading it out loud. And I like reading out loud, so this is not a big deal for me. If you don't like reading out loud, I think Word has a function where you can actually read out loud. It can read it out loud for you. So if you don't want to do it, you can still listen to it and use a different part of your brain to catch those errors. And of course, I edit whatever I've marked. And then around that time, I'm ordering my professional cover. You want to make sure that when you order your cover, that you're giving your cover artist plenty of time to complete that cover. Things happen, life happens to us as well as to them. So make sure that they have plenty of time. You want to figure that out beforehand so that you know that you're getting it to them in the right part of this process. And then you want to write all the extras, the dedication, the acknowledgments, the flap copy, all of that. You want to have it written and ready to go to your copy editor. And I said this last time, I'll say it again. Pay somebody to copy edit that work for you. Our brains are great. they're going to change those misspellings and those little typos because your brain knows what it's supposed to be. So it's not you being ignorant, it's your brain being super smart. After you hire the copy editor, of course, you'll make those edits. Then you're going to format for your paperback copies. If you're going to do paperback, format that, put it in a book so that you can give that to your beta readers. If you're just doing an ebook, then you can, of course, send that in any kind of Word form to your beta readers. And then you take in their input. Those beta readers, those people are really important because they find those last-minute typos that your brain can't see anymore because you've already read it 3, 4, 5 times. And so those are those last eagle eyes. Now, this is not the time to be making major plot changes. This is just usually typos, whether it's a canoe or a rowboat. Yeah, Lynn, looking at you. Lynn is one of my best beta readers. Lynn and Jennifer, I count on them every single time. And then I try to find just an avid reader, somebody who really loves my stuff. And it gives them kind of a sneak peek what is coming out. And plus, they sometimes find things that my other 2 beta readers don't. So I at least give it out to 3, and then I try to read it again a 4th time. It really kind of depends on my schedule. So once those beta readers, they give me their input back, make all those changes. And of course, it always comes down to author discrimination on a lot of this stuff. But and then I publish. So I go through each and every one of those steps. And it doesn't matter if it is a full-length novel or if it's a novella. I don't really publish anything smaller than that anymore. But I always make sure that I go through those steps because I want to put out the best product I can every single time. And so, again, write the book, content edits, read it out loud, get a professional cover, write the extras, hire a copy editor, and format, then get it to beta readers, and then publish. Yep, I do all that every time. So, and a lot of that stuff you can do for free, like the content. You critique somebody else's work, they critique yours. Like I've always said, pay for a quality cover, pay for a quality copy editor. Those are the 2 things that you definitely want to have in your budget. Okay, so that is how I get a book ready for publication. And now the second question, which is from Deb in Kansas, is how do you market a new publication? And this is a really tough one to answer because the marketing techniques of the writing world are constantly revolving. What worked for me in 2013 that put me on top of the Amazon bestseller list in the paid market would not work today. It absolutely would not work. Amazon's algorithms are different. The publishing world is different. It changes all the time. The best tried and true way of marketing your book when you have a new publication coming out is to get people to spread the word for you. Word of mouth will always be the best kind of marketing that you can get. Now, if you can get a group of people on Facebook or Twitter, a lot of times we call those a street team, to help share your work, to spread the word, to say, hey, I really liked this book. I think you will too. That is a surefire way to get more people to notice. There are also things like Facebook ads and doing sales and doing promotional giveaways along with those ads and Amazon ads. And I'm really, really still experimenting with those things right now. In fact, one of the books that I'm currently studying on ads is Help, My Facebook Ads Suck by Michael Cooper. And I haven't gotten it to the point where they don't suck yet, but that's why I'm studying the book so that I can make it just a little bit better. And so, and I've said this before, I am constantly educating myself on marketing because it is where I struggle the most. So it's really hard to get noticed in today's world. And then the other thing is keywords. And for the whole time I've been in the writing profession, I have really shied away from words like metadata because they scare me. I am not a techie person. I married a techie man for a reason. He fixes my techie stuff. So I'm pretty good, but I'm metadata, that just sounds crazy to me. Basically, they're keywords. It's finding the right keywords that will get your book noticed by Amazon so that when Amazon is like, okay, how you have your Amazon book and let's say it's Quail Crossings, and then underneath that it'll say books that other people liked, like this title, or something along those lines, or we recommend for you based on this title. That's what those keywords do. And so I am still studying this book, The Six-Figure Author by Chris Fox. And he has a lot of information in here about metadata and keywords, and he explains it in a way that I understand. Now, again, I'm studying these books because I feel like marketing is, again, way above my pay grade. I would hire a publicist if I could, but they're very, very expensive. And so unless somebody wants to work pro bono, anyone? No? Okay. No, I don't blame you. You know, experience does not buy food. Exposure does not buy food. That's what I mean. So anyway, yeah. So, and then my last piece of advice is really, honestly, anything when it comes to marketing is very trial and error. Something might work for you that didn't work for somebody else, but ask people what they did. Like Deb asking me, hey, how'd you get this to work? Ask people. And if somebody asks you and you have had something that works for you, share it, because writer karma is real. I truly believe in it. We can all help each other out. We are not competitors, we are colleagues. So if you have found something that works for you, then share it with somebody else. And that's one of the reasons I really decided to do Indie Strong, was because I do believe in writer karma. And I believe that if you put the help out there, then people will be more willing to help you and, see you, hear you, So I know I'm saying a lot today. It must be fall. I don't know. Anyway, so writer karma, be nice to others. We're not competition. Rarely do I find a reader that's like, oh no, I only read Stephen King and nothing ever else than that. Yeah, most readers branch out. And so we can share. And that's the best way. So anyway, word of mouth. If you can get other people to spread the word for you, that is the best. That is tried and true, will probably always be the best way to market. And, if I find something that works for me, I'm going to share it on here. I am. I'm still very much learning. I feel very behind after having a baby and stuff, but, I just keep reading books, and they're not even that thick. Sorry, they're very thin. So I feel like I can read them in a day or two and then really study them and get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, speaking of nitty gritty, Sue from Oklahoma would like to know, what is your guilty pleasure? Well, I have lots, but I have to say that right now, this week specifically, is the debut shows on television. I love a good story. And I really don't care like what form it's in. Like it can be a movie or a book or a series or a graphic novel, even some really great commercials. If you tell me a good story, I am hooked. And so I guess it's a guilty pleasure because as a writer, I feel like I should read more, and I do spend time watching TV. And sometimes I do it just to zone out after a long day. I do have 2 kids and a husband and a career. And we all know that you got to have some time for you. And sometimes I just want somebody else to tell and act out a story for me. And so not too long ago on Facebook, there was a long list of shows, and you were supposed to put hearts by the ones that you'd watched. And if you'd watched the whole season, it was like 3 hearts or something. I don't remember exactly. But my Facebook and my Twitter are linked. It's one of the ways I can keep active on Twitter. I need to go interact more on Twitter, but that's a different topic. But somebody over at Twitter, some guy, didn't even know, total stranger to me, was like, you need to read a damn book. Pardon my language, but and of course I blocked him, because who needs that kind of negativity, right? Because I read quite a bit. I read before I go to bed every night. I always have an audiobook going in the car. I don't need to justify my TV watching to some random stranger. So I was just like, you know what, I don't have time for this. But I guess that's why I feel like it's a guilty pleasure, because we're told that TV rots our brain. And I don't think you should just be stagnant in front of the TV, but I do think there's some really great stories told on television today. And, I know some are really gory, some are really sexualized. I really tend to just kind of blank that stuff out. In all honesty, I put on my blinders, just like when I'm reading a romance novel that has a sexy scene. I just kind of skim through it. And so it has never really bothered me. But the other day I was watching The Walking Dead. I'm like so far behind, so no spoilers. But there was a really gross scene, and I was like this, and Mike comes in, and he's just like, "Why are you even watching that?" And I'm like, "The stories, the characters have these brilliant stories. I can deal without the gore because that's what I do during the gore, but stories, brilliant, brilliant stories, character stories. The same reason I watch Orange is the New Black. You know, there's a lot of cussing, a lot of sex. I glaze right over that because I want to hear the stories. So my guilty pleasure, definitely TV, definitely the Netflix, the Hulu. Yeah, those are my three for reals. So, okay, now moving on, doing really great on time. Oh yeah, this is a really good one. What reference do you use when you can't think of the right word, but you know another word for it? Robin, New Mexico. Oh, Robin, I hear you. That question may seem like a hot mess, but I hear you and I see you and I know exactly what you're talking about. For example, as writers, we may want a character to walk slowly across the room, but we don't want to say walk slowly. We want a better word, a more active word. And so I believe, if I'm deciphering this question correctly, Robin is looking for a reference to help find that active word that really fits. You know, he walked slowly or he moseyed. See. So this is my favorite reference book. I have had this since I started writing. This was one of the first ones that I bought. It's called a flip dictionary. And unlike the other books I've shown you, it is super thick because it has words, all the words, and then it's like it's the thesaurus you never knew you needed. Okay. So it has just words, but it'll have like walk slowly, moseying. Let's see what else I can find here. Pace, ambled, cantered, clip, count, gaunt, gallop. I mean, it's, padding in pillows, flock, padding of feathers, down. You know, you're like, oh, what's that stuff? Yeah, because not all of us sleep on a down pillow, unlike my husband, who has to have a down pillow. So stuff like that. Pain along the nerves, neuralgia. Okay, didn't even know I needed to know that, but now I do know it, and I guess I'll need it someday. So anyway, Flip Dictionary, I love it. I suggest buying a hard copy, of course. I'm sure it's available in Kindle because everything's available in Kindle, but this is on my desk all the time. I was wondering if there's a date back here on when I bought it. It was a long time ago. I'm sure there's still copies out there. I can't imagine this is a reference that has gone away, but here it says, for when you know what you want to say, but you can't think of the word. Yeah. My friend Meg and I were chit-chatting on Facebook the other day talking about spelling and how sometimes we spell words so poorly that Word or Google have no idea what we're talking about. So we have to find another word. Well, that will help with this. But also, I joked that I'm the Porky Pig of spelling, because if I can't spell it enough for Word to find it or for Google to know what I'm talking about, I'm just gonna find another word. Just gonna get out the old Flip Dictionary and find something I can spell. So anyway, so I get you, Robin. I hope that answers your question. I hope that's a really good reference for you to use, because I love my Flip Dictionary. I don't think I go a day without kind of looking at it and finding something that really resonates with what I want my character to do. So I love words, but man, sometimes they're hard. So we have to take all the help we can get. So, okay. Next question. What happened to your nose? Okay, nobody asked this question. This is just me. You know when you have like a blemish or an ouchie and it's all you can think of, and you're like, okay, so I know it's there, so like everybody else knows it there. And I'm even looking at the camera right now and I can barely see it, but again, I can feel it. So I feel like all eyes are on it. Well, the other day, I was getting out of the car with Baby Bear, and series of unfortunate events. I can't even tell you how this happened, but I lost my balance and I smacked my nose on the edge of the car door. And thankfully, my nose was the only thing that I smacked. Baby Bear is fine. He just looked at me like, what the heck, Mom? I'm just like, uh-huh. And I may have said a few adult words because Yeah, it hurt. I saw stars for a minute. Everything went white for just a second. And I just knew that my whole face was going to be black and blue. Let me tell you, I have got some grace. Yeah. I trip over the lines on the sidewalk for reals. I do not chew gum and walk at the same time because I know it's above my capabilities. So anyway, I just have this little blood blister right here and it's annoying the tar out of me. And even though you guys probably can't even see it, I'm just like, it's there. It's like Rudolph, it's bulging out at me. And so I just had to share. And the fact that I'm just a normal klutz like everybody else. And so, if you take me hiking, just be ready to like pick me up off the ground at some point because I'm going to trip on something for sure. And usually it'll be my own 2 feet. But I love hiking. So if you want to go, let's do it. So anyway, yeah. So little bug thing. I know I've got my notes over here. So that's why I keep looking over here. I'm trying to be more organized so I don't just ramble. All right. Oh, Chicken Soup for the Soul. It comes out tomorrow. I am so proud of this book. I have been in other chicken soups before. This is Chicken Soup, Think Positive, Live Happy. It is my 3rd one. I'm very, very proud of it because, as I think I told you last time, it has the essay in it about the time that I hiked Heart Mountain. And I know I've said this before, and I'm going to say it till the day I die. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Seriously, I didn't think I was going to make it. I pushed myself harder than I ever have. I mean, even giving birth, I had an epidural, let me tell you. So I am so proud that this story has an outlet because it means a lot to me. There were people who said I couldn't do it. And that's what this whole book is about. It's about being positive, living happy, and knowing that you can. And that, sorry, I'm getting a little verklempt here because I know so many authors that people tell them they can't do it. People tell them that it's a hard industry to get into, that it's hard to make money, that, you're wasting your time. You can do it though. Think positively. Keep trucking. Keep putting one foot in front of the other. That's how I climbed that mountain. That's how I got to the top. Did I cry? Yes, I did. And I've told you guys this before, and I'm not ashamed. It hurt. And sometimes it hurts getting to the top. Sometimes you want to stop and you want to quit, but don't. Do not quit. I said this last time. Your stories deserve to be told. Keep thinking positively. Keep thinking about getting to the top of that mountain. And keep writing every day because you have your story and it deserves to be told. So keep it up. And if you need to tune into this every day for me to say your story is worth something, then I will say it every day because your story is worth something. Jenny, your story is worth something. Keep going. It's not easy, but it can be done. Okay. Yeah, it is definitely not fall in here. It is so hot. It gets so hot in my office. I usually have a little air conditioner going, but I didn't want it to like buzz through the whole video. So Chicken Soup for the Soul, Think Positive, Live Happy comes out tomorrow. So get yourself a copy of that. And tonight in the comments, I really want to hear about what you think about anthologies. Call it market research because I have some things in the works with some other people and I really want to know what people feel about anthologies. And I want to know the truth. I want to know if you're welcome, Jenny. I want to know if you love them. I want to know if you hate them. I want to know what you love about them, what you hate about them. I want to know how to make an anthology work. Chicken Soup, they've been around for ages. They have a niche market. They've done really well. It's not that I want to take part of that, but I just want to utilize this brilliant group of people that I have watching to see what you like or hate about anthologies. So I can use that in the future with this group that I'm working with, who we are about to do a whole bunch of little anthologies. So do you like to hold them? Do you want a big anthology? Do you want a small anthology? Do you want stories that you can read in 5 minutes? Do you want stories that take you a couple of days? Do you want little novellas? Do you want one story written by multiple authors, but it all kind of stays the same? If that makes sense. So anybody who leaves a comment, I'm going to choose 2 people let's say Wednesday at 10. I'm going to choose 2 people, and I will send you a copy, a signed copy of Think Positive, Live Happy, and a Jennifer McMurrian mug for all those cold autumn nights that we'll hopefully have, because I'm seriously sweating in my office. Sorry, I'm perspiring. Gotta be a lady here. So leave a comment about anthologies. I will pick a winner on Wednesday. Let me look at my calendar. Wednesday at 10, that is September. It doesn't want to come up. That is September 25th at 10. I will pick 2 winners, and you will get a Chicken Soup for the Soul, Think Positive, Live Happy, $14.95 in stores. You're going to get it for free, and a Jennifer McMurrian coffee mug. I am no Vanna White, but here, yes. So again, thank you guys for joining me. I'm a little early today. Does anybody have any questions in the comments? I got to get this calendar down so I can see. There we go. So Glenn has already commented on anthologies, so he's already entered to win. Let me think. What else should I talk about while we have a few minutes? You know, a lot of people want to know about my day-to-day, because I do have kids, I do have a husband, and, you know, I have a house, albeit very messy. I do have a house that I try to tend to. So basically my day starts around 8. I am very lucky that my day starts at 8. Okay, this is not normal for moms to have a day start at 8. I have trained my kids very well for the fact that their mama does not do mornings. So we get up Baby Bear and he eats. My daughter, she really does it herself at this point. She's been doing it herself since she was about 5. She gets up, she gets breakfast, she turns on cartoons, she enjoys the time to herself. We get her to school around 8:30. Baby Bear and I, we hang out until about 10, and then he goes down for a nap, and I try to do laundry and stuff before that. Then he goes down for a nap, and I hit the keyboard if I'm not too tired. And I'm going to be really honest, I'm too tired was something that I was going to like totally take out of my vocabulary, but it is a fact of my life that I'm just tired. So sometimes I take a nap, and then sometimes I sit down at the keyboard. And I got to tell you, I feel a lot better when I sit down at the keyboard than when I take a nap. So then, you know, around 12:30, we have lunch, and again, hang out with Baby Bear, and also do some chores around the house. When we found out that we were pregnant with Baby Bear, we were still working on our kitchen. We had to move my office, which is now Baby Bear's room, into the dining room we never used. And so everything is still, and then I had a horrible pregnancy. I was just sick the entire time. And and then you have a newborn. Oh, seriously, nothing gets done. And so anyway, so I'm catching up on all that stuff. I was going through my jewelry today, and I know that seems like kind of a petty thing to go through, but I need to get it all put away so I can put other things on those shelves. Anywho, so we hang out till about 3. He goes down for another nap. I write at that point, no excuses. I sit down and write at 3. And then the kiddo comes home from school. We chit chat about school for a little bit. She goes to chill out on the computer, and I keep writing until Baby Bear wakes up, get dinner ready, have family time. And then at 9 o'clock, I sit down again to write. And I write until about 11:30. Then I try to go to bed. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't work, I just get up. I just get up and come write, because there's no reason to just lay there. And so if it seems like I'm online at all hours of the night, I am. So, but that's how I get things done. That's my typical day. We have our routine. The kiddo, Baby Bear, and I, we are routine-oriented people. And when we get out of our routine, it's not pretty. It's actually, you don't want to be here. So, so we're very, very routine-oriented people. And so that routine helps me to get my words in. And it just kind of depends. Like right now I'm working on, I don't have like a word count goal per se right now, because my main goal is to get my copy edits for Autumn's Kiss done, because that is going to come out on November 12th. I had it on October 29th, but I had to move it back to November 12th because, again, life gets in the way. I have had an upper respiratory infection or hay fever. I don't know. Ragweed has been trying to kill me this last month. And so I'm behind my sister who does almost all of my covers. She's phenomenally talented. She has had kidney stones and she had a lithotripsy and that didn't go as planned. And so things just get behind and that's okay. One of the perks of being an indie publisher, an indie author, is that you can push those things back. Thank you. And so anyway, so I'm working on copy edits right now, so I don't have like a word count goal, but I usually, if I'm writing on a rough draft, I try to do 1,000 words an hour. That's the goal. And sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. So, but I do have a goal and I think it's very important that you have a goal, at least either a set time to write or a word count goal to meet before you go do something else. So for me, I'm going to sit down and edit the chapters of my goal chapters today, which is 3 because I do this. And then after that, I can go and take a gander at one of those new TV shows that are sitting on my DVR right now. So, okay, well, that's my 30 minutes. And so I just want to say thank you guys for coming and joining me today. Thank you in advance for anything you have to say. I really would love the input. This is one of the ways that the world works, is just brainstorming with other people that you know are just brilliant and they think of things that you never thought of. And so that's why I'm putting that out there. I'm trying really hard to iron out all the kinks in these episodes, trying a little bit more to be a little bit more scripted so I'm not rambling so much. I feel like I ramble too much when I just try to talk off the cuff. But I appreciate your questions. If you have a question for me, please either private message me here on the Facebook, or you can email me at jennifermcmurrian@gmail.com, and I will try to air them on my show. So, okay. Well, that's it for tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Happy fall, fall, fall. And hopefully it'll cool down a little bit. Well, if we could have days like today, that'd be great. So don't forget to comment about anthologies to enter to win a copy of Chicken Soup for the Soul, Think Positive, Live Happy, and a Jennifer McMurrian coffee mug. So, and they're big. Oh my gosh, they hold so much coffee. So yummy. So anyway, I will see you guys next week. Take care.